Welcome to the Lovecars On The Grid podcast, your global motorsport roundup with me, Tiff Needell, and Paul Woodman. Welcome to Lovecars On The Grid, where we're back doing Zooms. After wonderful with Hamilton here with me bringing sound to my house and having wonderful quality, as we sent Paul Woodman off to go around the world. He's actually currently making a new series of programs about paddle, is it tennis? However,
who knows?
If you're wondering where Paul Woodman is, all you have to do is go to Instagram, PWW, and every day there's a new bevy of beautiful women, and he's playing, and he's got his little smart, clean shorts on and his new paddle kit. And I won't tell you where he is now because he's around the other side of the world filming paddle, which is, well, we're here, doing his background job for him, keeping Lovecars afloat on the grid.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely
but
right.
You're not here today, Hamilton, with my place, with our better quality, because you're getting mucking about with your helicopters again. Is this for another video?
It is entirely my fault, so I apologise to everyone. Next week, we will be back to our normal recording there at Tiff's house. But yes, I have been at flight school all day, and I'm doing a helicopter video tomorrow. So there just wasn't...
Well, what's flight school?
Flight school is not flight school, ground school. Excuse me, I need to get my terminologies right. Ground school. So ground school is learning about the particular helicopter. Obviously, this is a military helicopter. This isn't a civilian helicopter.
But you've got a license then. You've got to drive the thing. You've got a license.
No. This is just to be part of the crew.
Oh, blimey.
This is just to be part of the crew. So I've been doing that all day, guys. So hence why it's even dark outside. So back to normal next week.
Good. But we had to keep our podcast going because, of course, it was a dramatic Grand Prix last weekend. But still no world champions decided for the British boys, with no Lando Norris, which you'll be hoping for. And we'll come to it later. Sadly, no Elford Evans crowned as world champions last weekend. We do have a new Formula 2 champion to talk about, and an Australian supercar title was decided in controversial circumstances. We'll come to those later. But we start, of course, with Formula 1 and the truly terrible Qatar circuit.
Yeah.
I don't know how many Grand Prix they've had there, because I'm an narrator, as I always do about tracks, and I slated it. For the word go, it was a classic Tilka. Turn, one big long straight, turn.
Yes.
Nobody there wanted to watch, really, apart from on the long straight where they put the grandstands and the corporate hospitalities so you can sit and have your drinks and watch. Yeah. They did, however, promise, and someone put a picture of it up, that this was just temporary, that a new spec sort of street town-based circuit being built for Qatar for the future. But no, we're still stuck. And it just drives me mad when we go to these circuits and you know what's coming.
Yeah.
And, also, to make it worse, because there's too many corners consecutive and the very fast corners, they had to stipulate your tyres. You can only use tyres for 25 laps. Otherwise, they might explode and put you off the road.
So I think for some people, they need to sort of, because you've summed this up beautifully for me with regards, and you did just sort of touch on it there. Corner, and then a great long straight. Yeah. But that is bad for overtaking. Why?
Yeah. Because you can't follow close enough with the stupid cars. So by the time you get to the big long straight with your stupid DRS flap,
it's not enough.
Not enough.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I knew it was going to come, and it's just so that the two tyre stop made the Grand Prix a sprint race because they knew they could run 3 sets of tyres flat out and not run out of rubber. So the great tyre degradation, that bit of a battle you have, strategy, was pretty much thrown out the window. There was really no opportunity for strategy. And of course we had a proper sprint race on the Saturday before the sprint race on the Sunday. Actually, no, it was Friday, Saturday, because it was out in. When was the Grand Prix? Was it on the Saturday?
It was Saturday.
Sprint on the Saturday. And qualifying is as crucial as Monaco. You talk about, gosh, you've got to be on pole in Monaco.
Yeah.
And, Oscar beginning an absolutely dominant weekend. I mean, fair play to him. And really, he was the one that lost out more than anybody.
Massively.
Massively. I know. And he was really back to that form that we saw earlier in the year when, just soak at great pole position. George got between him and Lando. It's the sprint race. Lando had another sort of mucked up my second lap, or didn't quite get my second lap right, and got holding at my task. So it was that classic back to where we were. 5 months ago.
Yeah.
Oscar just supreme.
Yeah.
And Lando, well, I made a bit of a mistake there, made a bit of there. But anyway, Max was out. Max had this car that pogoed himself off the road, so flipping up. And then you know what's coming. He'll slowly at the weekend get it better. And he qualified for the first time behind Yuki.
Yes, I know. I can believe it.
But just when Yuki's finally out qualified, it would appear that the axe falls tomorrow. They're announcing their teams. So by the time you've edited this and got it up, which might not be till tomorrow, we might all know that it's going to be. And everyone says it's going to be Hadjar and it's going to be Lawson and Lindblad, we all think. So if we're wrong, we're wrong. But poor old Yuki finally out qualifies. But to show what a ridiculous track it is, the bottom four on the grid, which was Colapinto, Gasly, some bloke called Hamilton. I don't know what car he's driving, but he was knocked out again in Q1. And Stroll, they all actually chose to start from the pits because to give them more testing for the Grand Prix, because they're so rubbish anyway, they all changed their cars overnight, which means you were pit lane start, and they all came out to try and learn something more. So they didn't even treat it as a race. No. So they knew there was no point. I looked at the lap. I mean, to show how the stats. So on lap one, because there was a little bit of overtake on lap one.
Yeah.
So Max, of course, always overtakes someone at turn one. So Max jumped 2 places, got past Alonso, and Yuki sort of let him by quite easily. Yeah. So Max went from 6th to 4th. Alonso dropped to 2 places because he dropped behind Yuki and Max, and Leclerc dropped 4th. Dropped 4 places.
Yeah.
From 9th, Leclerc. So the other Ferrari that had qualified 9th was soon in 13th spot.
What's going on at Ferrari? What is going on at Ferrari? Seriously?
And that's all that happened. Oh, no, one more thing. And on lap 2, Antonelli overtook Alonso.
Right.
And that was it. Nobody else overtook anybody else.
No, that was it.
And the whole point of sprint race is supposed to be all overtaking.
Those are overtaking. That was the point of it. That was the point of a sprint race.
Oh, so anyway, so Oscar gained 2 points on Lando and 1 point on Max as they cruised around in that order.
Yeah.
And then the Grand Prix, obviously crucial for qualifying. Oscar again strong. Lando made a mess again and ended up 3rd. No, he got a 2nd in the end, didn't he? Where was he in the grid? Yes, no, he got a 2nd in the end.
Yeah.
Max was because Max was 3rd. But the point about Max being 3rd in qualifying is that he was on the left-hand side. And this is one of those circuits. We talked about it, didn't we?
We did last week. Last week we did.
Why don't you want the inside for the first corner if you're on pole?
Yeah.
Because sometimes the outside is where all the cars are going down.
It's the grippier line. It's the better line.
And it pretty much dictated all the shenanigans on the lap 1. So I've written it down somewhere. I can't even read my own notes. Almost. And that was it, really. End of lap 1, it was Oscar, Max, Lando, Antonelli, and Sainz.
Yeah.
And 7 laps later, it was still the whole.
It was still the same. It's crazy to say it, but it was literally that was the positions, and
the race was over.
I've got to be honest, Tiff, and I hate to admit this. And ever since I've been doing this with you,
you walked out.
I gave up with it. I've been doing this with you now for 7 weeks, and I've sat through. And do you know what? We've had some brilliant Formula One races. The last couple of Formula One races have been fantastic. This was like watching paint dry. It just was.
But then, of course, Hulkenberg. He actually started on soft tyres. I think Sauer Hulkenberg and Lewis both started with soft tyres. It made a bit of progress, well, not much progress, because in completing the one overtake in the 7 laps, he managed to tangle with Gasly. So anyway, so there we were. Now this was brilliant in a way because you see all the teams. They simulate the race. They go through all the scenarios. They work out what could happen. They do their tyre strategy. 25 laps, remember, for each set of maximum. So what we're going to do. So we all worked out. So hold on, that's 57 laps. So it's 25 and 25 is 50. Yeah. So if there was a pace car on lap 7, this would mean every team would have simulated what happens, because they simulate what happens to pace car on 5, what happens to pace car 10, what tyres do we use?
Yeah.
Every team would have had the strategy.
The same.
If it's a 7-lap pace car, you're in.
You're in.
Because
Yeah.
then you've got 2 25 lap stints and it's over.
And it's done. Exactly. It's all the same.
Round came Oscar.
Yeah.
What? Hold on.
Yeah.
In goes Max.
Yeah.
Right. Well, there'll be a strategy change because Lando will follow Max in.
Yeah.
Lando will follow Max in, and then he'll leap from Oscar, so it'll help Max, help Lando win the race. No, Lando. I wonder what he's going in for. It's a bit of a stupid thing, Max. Why have you gone to
Yeah. Oh no. It's
So
bad.
the only protective scenarios that the trouble, I think, with this papaya rules and the embarrassments of Monza, when they had to let Lando by because of lap one and bits and pieces, they're so anal about not favouring one driver or the other. So they're all thinking they probably spend longer to make a decision. Yeah, they've got to think. And one theory they had that if they both come in, they would have had to double. What's the word they use? Double thinged. Double stacked. Two McLarens.
Double stacked. Two McLarens in the pits.
Therefore, Lando would have been held up. Yes. And that would have
not good
Lando.
because as Oscar said, they are fake. You said it.
But Lando was about 6 seconds behind and Max in between him. So the double stacking danger must have been minimalistic because by the time Lando got into the pit box, Oscar would have gone. So that wasn't a reason.
No.
They were worried that Max would stay out apparently and disappear, but then by the time it came to Lando, I've actually quizzed on the Twitter to find out from Karun Chandok, who's very good at these sorts of things, whether each car has its own strategist.
Okay.
Or is it in the end one senior strategist that dictates, a team strategist?
Team strategy, yeah.
Because, the point is Lando and Oscar are two drivers with one chance of being world champion. So we all know that there is a major prize for one of those two drivers.
Yeah.
So you would have thought that they've been allowed to be an individual strategy. Now that the contract has been won. So obviously if I was Lando's strategist, I'd have said in.
Yeah.
And I know that if they're during the race, you have to allow the leader to have first choice of pitting. That is a rule between all strategists. Yeah. But because this was a different scenario, so it's a I don't think that happens. No. So anyway, they didn't go in, and everybody was just. They said more cars might have stayed out, which might have meant more overtaking, and it just stunned everybody.
Ultimately, they got it wrong. They got it wrong. And I think even, which we'll come to later, I'm sure, but even Zach Brown said on a TV interview that he apologised massively to the team. We got it wrong. And this is the bit that shocks me. He specifically said, or something along the lines of, I specifically apologised to Oscar.
Yeah, he was the one,
That.
And we're Lando fans, but Oscar would have won the race.
We are.
Oscar would have been a lot closer in the championship. Now that if Lando wins the race, if Oscar wins the race, Lando has finished lower than sixth.
Yeah,
for Oscar to take the crown. So it's massively swung in favour of Lando or Max. Or Max.
Yeah, or Max.
Then, of course, we had this thing with Lando. Lando, he wasn't on the pace of Oscar at all. Oscar was just blowing him away.
He was, yeah.
So he was suffering more. And whereas, again, we saw that wonderful Oscar overtake of Antonelli, positive woof down the inside to get lapped and then chase after Max, which he was never going to catch Max. It was a full-on. And then Crofty with about 6 laps to go. So he said, of course, nobody tested. We don't know how long the hard tyre will last because nobody's run it. It's the hard tyre, Crofty. Doing 25 laps. Yeah. Max is driving it. He's doing regular lap times. He feels the grip. He knows with the grips. Yeah. But even with 5 laps to go, Crofty tried to pretend that maybe Oscar would catch. And even if he'd caught him up, Lando, sometimes he started that main straight. It looked like only 2 or 3 car lengths behind Antonelli.
Yeah.
So either Antonelli had a quicker car in a straight line, running less downforce,
or
he'd recharged his battery and got a stronger because they use the hybrid. When you don't want to be overtaken, you make sure you've got full batteries.
Of course,
to hit the power. Because it looked like Lando was almost further away from Antonelli at the end of the straight. It was the beginning sometimes.
Yeah.
So, Lando couldn't overtake anyone until Antonelli made the mistake.
Yeah.
Helmut Marko said, whoa, or the strategist said, they've just told Max, and they've just let him by. So that kicked off. Antonelli got hate mail, death threats.
Yeah.
with the Max the
Max crew. They're all on their phones at this point, weren't they?
It was Helmut Marko that almost encouraged them to say it, or they've let him through. Yeah. I mean, it was a big thing getting past Antonelli, because it means that Lewis can now finish third. So had it been, Max, Oscar, Lando, they would have had to ask Oscar, will you let Lando by?
Yeah, can you just let him go?
I mean, it could still happen. A different, something like George is up there in fourth. George, the Mercedes might be up there, but the Mercedes weren't really. Well, they were quick, weren't they? But if Sainz was up there, brilliant for Williams. If George hadn't fumbled that start, I think we could be looking at a very different result on this race. He would have beaten Lando, right? Yeah, I think so. He would have been right with Antonelli and Sainz. There would have been three of them. Yeah. Anyway, I interrupted you, Tiff. You were about to mention the Williams, which I'm quite excited to hear about. Yeah, Sainz. Where did he qualify? I think he qualified. Got me a bit of notes. He gained a couple of places, didn't he? He did. Can't find him. Of course, him there. Qualified sixth. They're getting stronger and stronger, Williams. We've seen it throughout the season. But he who we keep on talking about, wishing did better every weekend, Alex Albon. I mean, again, he had a bit of a funny sort of weekend. Where did he end up? But he does do that, though. We've seen that throughout the season as well. Yeah, he's flashes of being really good and really competitive, qualifying, just really getting it, and then all of a sudden he just melts. Yeah. It's really sad. Alonso dropped back, didn't he? Who were the big takers? Max, of course, was always making places at the start, so those opening laps. Yeah. So a sort of tense Grand Prix. I mean, we saying, "What a brilliant Grand Prix!" But I mean, it was, you knew the result pretty much. Yeah. It was just that whether Lando could get third place back. I think was the only real qualifier. They sort of said that maybe McLaren thought that their fresh air speed they could pull a full 26-second pit stop, or 24-second from Max, but it seemed pretty unlikely for most of us. So Papaya, we have to change Papaya to sort of a blushier red, I think, don't we? Have to start changing the colour for the team. Yeah. So did you come in and watch the end of it? Did you suddenly come back and watch the end of it? No, I didn't. I honestly, I did. I gave up with it. But and it's the only time I've ever done that. I'll be very honest. This season, it's the only time I've ever done that. But I did. I just thought, and do you know what it was? Is that I was just like, do you know what? We've been here before. This is exactly the same. I haven't got the final result in the end. Who finished 10th in the end? I have no idea. Behrman ran over his jack. He was on for a 10th, which was a shame. So he didn't get any points. No. Nobody's really interested in the rest of the field, were they? With all the tension up front. So let's because we're talking about points. Let's dive into it. So where is Lando? He's 408. 408. 408. 396, Max. So Max now's ahead of Oscar. Yeah. And Oscar's 392. Yeah. So he really needs, he can't have a slip up this last race in the desert. He cannot slip it up. He cannot, I'm sorry, I messed. He really needs to be 100% Lando. Yeah. He's got to. Otherwise, that world championship is going to slip away. And we've seen this before in the past. When a driver becomes very, very close on their first one and fumbles it, it's very rare that they come back and get it later in their career, isn't it? I know. Because they lose the confidence. Where's the results? Got to have results. I've got all the stories. There's too many stories, not enough results. I can't be bothered anyway. Everyone listening, they all know where your favourite person fitted. We all know the most important thing was the Lando got through that one extra place. He did. Which is so quick. Otherwise, he would have had to finish second to Max. Yeah. So, But hey, in fact, last year, because Lando won the Abu Dhabi race quite easy last year, because Oscar was punted round by Max at the first corner. Yes, of course. And that's the only tension. I think if Lando can come out of the first chicane after the first big long straight at Abu Dhabi, if he gets through turn one, tricky left-hander, at least it's not a stupid S-bend. True. But then there is the chicane at the end of the really, really long, really fast straight. For sure. Which is so slow in a road car. I mean, you understand how quick Grand Prix cars are by the end of that huge long straight. The left is like a hairpin to it. It doesn't look it on a camera. No. And then when you turn right, it's a huge crest. You can't see that because the camera's always flattened out. And then you turn incredibly back on yourself left, and then you've got to turn incredibly back on yourself right. Right, yes. And
One thing that I have seen floating around the internet, and I don't mean, I've got some tinfoil over there. I might make a hat out of it in a minute. I might. Is that obviously we had when we had this conversation last week, we were talking about how both McLarens obviously got disqualified for their ride height, which was 1 millimeter too low. So the wear plates, the wear pads, we talked about it last week. If you want to go and revisit that, guys, you can. And a lot of people with their tinfoil hats are saying, oh, well, that's worked out really nicely now because the final race, it's now all to play for with these drivers. And was this all made? Was it all created by the people funding all of this over in the desert with their camels? But, it's the internet is pretty buzzing with that tinfoil conspiracy right now.
But where's Ferrari? I mean,
what's happened to Ferrari?
Leclerc finished the race and I just got no grip. Just struggling around.
But did you hear?
I have to find out who finished where.
Did you hear Hamilton's end of race interview when it was just like, are you looking forward to next? No, I'm not looking forward. Can you imagine a Ferrari driver? I don't think anyone's been as bold saying that since Niki Lauda started racing with Ferrari, quite frankly.
Well, I think everybody's trying to make a good feeling of the new regulations, but they all know these new regulations are going to be horrible. Yeah. That's the trouble.
Of course they are. Yeah, of course.
Oh, when am I might have got somewhere.
Okay, this is good.
No, latest results 2025. I don't want Abu Dhabi, do I? I've got the Qatar. Yes, it was Verstappen Sainz. Full race results.
Yeah.
Sainz on the podium, brilliant. Anthony again, good drive. Okay, made a mistake but and he was trying to get third. Let's be fair, he didn't move over for Lando. He made a mistake because he was right on the ragged edge.
Of course.
George sixth, an anonymous sixth. Alonso seventh. Leclerc got eighth from ninth to the grid. Lawson ninth ahead of Yuki. Lawson might be seeing Yuki, the two of them. So Yuki got a point. Albon again 11th. You see, Albon 11th. Not really in the game.
Well,
Hamilton got 12th.
Oh, God.
Colapinto, Ocon, Gasly, Stroll, Hadjar. Hadjar's had a tyre blow, didn't he? He damaged the car.
Yeah.
Car fell apart. So, Ferrari got 8th.
I just don't
So, Formula 2 was there, and we did have a champion. Because Leonardo Fornaroli, who was won the Formula 3 championship last year, he had pole position for the feature race and finished 6th in the sprint race, the reverse grid race.
Yeah.
And came second in the Grand Prix. So won the championship round to go. Really nice Italian lad. A lot of people like him. But he's not in anyone's junior programme yet.
Okay.
So you're thinking, right, to Joe Public, he's Formula 3 champion.
Yeah, sure.
In fact, he's done exactly what Bortoletto did. Same team.
Right.
Same 2 championships on the trot, which is what Bortoletto did.
Right.
Who's now in with Audi.
Yeah.
But no, he's not. He wasn't anyone's junior. But all these, there's Mercedes proteges and there's Red Bull juniors and everyone's got juniors. And apparently behind the scenes, he is now talking to Ferrari and Haas about being a free practice driver, a reserve driver, a racing driver. Mm-hmm. He can't race in Formula 2 again because if you win the championship, you're not allowed to. Mm-hmm. So he's now, and of course, you remember there's a Brazilian who was with Aston Martin sitting in the garage for 5 years almost, it seemed like. Who's Drugovic. Okay. Drugovic, really talented Brazilian. He won the championship, got the Aston Martin reserve driver and stood listening to his headphones, watching Lance Stroll go round and round in a car that he knew he could go faster in.
The thing is with Aston Martin, it's a terrible team to go into because there is actually only ever one seat available. There's never 2 seats available. It's only one.
So... and of course, Stroll and Colapinto bought drives. I mean, Fornaroli would be far better driver to go into Alpine than Colapinto is.
Colapinto, yeah.
And it's such a shame. In fact, because he won the championship. I wrote a few sprints down here. What did he win? Noah probably won. And Red Bull announced, and we think Lindblad is going to be in there. Now, Lindblad, he finished 17th yesterday.
Yeah.
Finished 6th in the points. In his years in Formula 3 and Formula 2, he's won 1 Formula 3 feature race and 1 Formula 2 feature race. So it's not exactly, However, I know a lot of people that really do rate him, unless you're in the team that knows how good the car is. And, of course, all the cars look the same in Formula 2. They've got different engineers. They've got different tweaks.
Yeah.
And as I said, Bortoletto Bortoleto, won the Formula 3 and Formula 2 in the same team.
In the same team, yeah.
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 So that team, it was actually a different team. So the Formula 3 team was the best team, has done a double, 2 years in the trot. And Formula 2 team has done 2 on the trot.
Right.
And the same cars.
Yeah,
so
same cars.
How much is it talent? And
how much is it money, Tiff? How much is it checkbook?
We call it Pinto and Stroll. But obviously Lindblad is very highly rated.
For sure.
But you can't see that in the result sheets. No. And that's what sometimes frustrates about our sport. Why is he in the Grand Prix? And he's won the championship.
Yeah.
Lindblad, well, he was 6th. He was rubbish yesterday.
Yeah, yeah.
So you never really know. So good luck to Lindblad if he is the boy that gets the drive. And sadly, you could be out. You could be in some sort of reserve Honda strategist or something.
Unless if he does the right thing, he'll just move. He'll just shift over to endurance or rally or something that actually gives him a drive and not just sat in the pits.
So congratulations to Leonardo.
Leonardo, congrats.
It was one more race to go because they also have another round next weekend, Abu Dhabi.
Cool. Yeah.
Then we go to there we are having a go at Qatar, the rubbish racing track. Now the final round of the World Rally Championship.
Yeah.
It was just awful. The Saudi that never was the Saudi one. They bought 10 years. And apparently, this is where money talks. We talked about it before. And apparently 5 of those years has to be the last round of the championship. We want the last round, so we're going to pay you more money for it. And the last round of the World Rally Championship, those people are slightly above 30 or 40 years of age, maybe even younger, knew that the RAC Rally around Britain was the last round of the championship.
Yes.
And there have been so many dramatic final day champions decided. Richard Burns and McRae and Solberg won it on the last day, and they go through stages that the spectators have been going to for 20 years, and everybody knows which corners to go to.
Yeah, of course.
It's a magical, different mud, stains, tricky.
Definitely.
And there's millions of people who are watching the cars go around Britain as well. The crowds, they used to add up the crowd, including people that walked out of the pub in the middle of a village. Even when they weren't on the stage, they'd watch the RAC rally.
For sure. And it was Wales, it was Scotland, it was brilliant. It was wonderful.
We haven't got the money, we haven't got the sponsors to run a championship. And it's becoming harder and harder to run a rally because police and street regulations and speeding on. I was always spread the word can. I'm not going to remember. It's a lovely story.
Hang on, I've just had a notification here saying my meeting will end in 10 minutes unless I upgrade. That's not very good.
Well, right, go for the quick one. We're on a free.
Hang on. Sorry about that, guys. Sorry, I do apologise.
Well, we're nearly there. We've got 10 minutes.
Yeah.
10 minutes to run. So anyway, we went to Saudi. Terrible. The first stage of the Thursday night was running the car park with lots of white fencing, plastic fencing, designing it. And everybody knew it was going to be rocks. But also sweeping. So, of course, championship leader, Elfyn Evans, with his 3-point lead, had to be first onto the stages for the first day, sweeping the loose off. Ogier following behind, didn't have much better. Rovanpera also with a chance to win the championship. So the end of day one, the championship excitement, because of stupid desert tracks, were running 7th, 8th and 9th.
Oh, what?
So if you don't know much about the rally, you think, well, these 3 are battling for the championship. Why are they 7th? Anyway. There was, however, to be fair, there was an exciting run. Because up front, there's some loads of kids, and Adrian Formeau, who hasn't won yet in a Hyundai, Sami Pajari, the young Toyota driver, a Finnish guy, and the Estonian Martin Seks in a Ford. They didn't care about that few punctures. They were there for have a bit of glory. So they all went hell for leather, got punctures. And actually, Seks the Ford led the rally for a while. So it was actually very close up front. But everyone had punctures. Evans, of course, was the first to get a puncture of the championship. That dropped to 2 minutes. And yet Ogier was saying, this is horrible, it's ridiculous. I'm just every kilometre, I'm happy that I've finished another kilometre without a puncture.
Without puncture, yeah.
So the World Championship was being decided on punctures. Really? Now, there are other rocky rallies around the world. They do go to when
Morocco,
this does happen.
For example.
But Ogier was saying, don't have a lottery rally as your final rally. No. You've got to bring the cars to a rally at the end of the year where you know everyone's got a bit of chance.
Yes.
Instead of a rally where they're all driving as slow as they could to not get punctures.
Yeah.
Anyway, Thierry Neuville won Hyundai's last rally. He's retiring. He's moving on. Ogier got up to 3rd. Last day, Ogier put the foot down a bit. I think he ended day 2 6th. Evans was 8th. But all those you had to do was not get a puncture. And his ninth world championship, Elfin, that's his fifth runner-up slot in 6 years.
Oh, gosh.
So we do feel for our lovely Welshman.
Yeah, definitely.
So, it wasn't a very... But it was exciting running because the people out front were having a bit of a go. But if you're looking at who's going to win the championship, it was like a slow bicycle race.
For sure.
Aussie Supercars.
Yes.
They had their, as we've talked about, their like NASCAR 12 drivers down to 8 to 4 in Adelaide. 3 races, 4 drivers that could now win the championship.
Yeah, just like NASCAR playoffs.
And it was, and also the result was just like NASCAR.
Was it?
Well, in NASCAR, Denny Hamlin, was cruising to victory. Never won the championship in 20 years.
That's right.
And they had a pace car 5 minutes for the end, and Kyle Larson put on only 2 tires, short a pit stop.
That's right, he gambled it.
Hadn't won a race for a long time. So Larson won the championship, whereas Denny Hamlin should have done.
Yes.
And in these 3 races, so Brock Feeney, this kid in a Camaro, in the Red Bull Camaro, what the name of the team is, he's won 13 races this year. 13 out of the 33 or something.
Wow.
So he's dominated the season. And in the first race, in the wet race or the first race, Kostecki won it. And this Chaz Mostert, the leading Mustang driver, was second, and Brock Feeney was fourth. I think it was Kai Allen fifth, and Will Brown ninth. The four, they're all there. But it was pretty much between Feeney and Mostert in a Mustang. So it's the Walkinshaw team against the Red Bull team.
Nice.
Big battle. Nice. So race 2, Feeney won it ahead of Mostert. I don't know quite how the points were being added up in these 3 final races, but it was just the 3. At least it wasn't one race. So 4 of them were collecting points. It was going to be between Feeney and Mostert. And the last round, race 3, Mostert's teammate, Ryan Wood, saw a gap between the wall and Mr. Feeney.
No.
Decided it was big enough for a Mustang to get into. No way. Not fully alongside.
Okay.
And to be fair to him, and perhaps people are criticising Feeney, Feeney decided to squeeze him.
Okay.
And the gap between the Corvette and the Mustang and the wall did get slightly narrower than the width of a Mustang.
Did it?
So he hit the wall, he hit Feeney. Feeney was turned around.
Yeah.
First lap, dropped down to 20th. Mostert, the teammate, cruised around to finish second and win the championship.
Yeah.
Feeney did, however, get an engine misfire, so he climbed back up through the field a bit.
Yeah.
But so he was in tears. He really, I've never seen anyone.
Was it? Did you say?
Not just the end of the race. He got back into his civvies. He was outside of his truck. They were interviewing him. He just, mate. He's won 13 of the 30 races. Yeah. I mean, just so. Unreal. I think everybody's going to give up on these. But it's why motorsport again. It's why people buy the last round, and then they want the rules to make sure the last round is exciting. It's why the idiot Australian race director, we've got to make this last round exciting. No, we haven't. It's a season of Grand Prix racing.
Yes.
No, we've got to no, don't have a pace, but go. So he panics. We have to have an exciting end to the year. So both NASCAR and Supercars have really shot themselves in the foot because the champions that should have been the champions didn't become the champions.
Yeah.
But great race, the Adelaide Grand Prix track. I mean, these big Camaros and Mustangs just leaping off curves. In the wet, I mean, they're so close to the drivers. I mean, that's the sort of touring car racing I want. I mean, just big, beefy V8s.
Definitely.
So Chaz Mostert won his first title he's had, 33-year-old. He's been around for a while. So well done, Chaz. Your mate might have helped. Your teammate might have
well done.
Given a helping hand.
Yeah, well done.
So that was it. 4 championships, 2 decided, 2 not. And next weekend is Abu Dhabi.
No, well, for the final race, and I think if I were to hazard a guess, and I want to know your opinion on this, I in my heart I know Lando can do it. In my heart, I know he can do it. I feel like his cage is a bit rattled. Tiff, what do you think?
No, Lando's going to cruise round. Arm up, 3rd place, cruise round. Oscar and Max can go and fight each other. I'll just cruise around a bit.
Cruise around.
Unless George comes involved, unless Mercedes have a good... I don't think Ferrari can't come back from where they are. So Mercedes could be a bit of a
contender. Is anyone going to be on a suicide mission and actually just try and completely knock Lando off track? Because that's something else I feel like could happen.
Well, no, hopefully not.
Shall I go get my tinfoil? Shall I get my tinfoil?
It's when the grid lines up, you start looking at anyone that's sort of done a bit. Well, Lawson qualifies fourth for some reason.
Yeah.
And he doesn't mind, he doesn't care who he bumps into. So,
that's true. Yeah, that's
but
true.
However, I mustn't forget, it's not just Formula One exciting next weekend. Oh, no. I know you've been waiting for this, haven't you, for about 6 months or 4 months. I'm sure all our followers have, because the Formula E season gets started again. Yes, yes. After you watch qualifying on Saturday afternoon, the Formula E's get going around the streets of Sao Paulo.
Okay.
So there you go. You know your Saturday's going to be exciting.
I tell you what, shall we watch it? Shall we watch it? Shall we just see? I
always watch it. You can't criticise anything if you don't watch it.
Until you try it. Exactly.
So every time I do that on Twitter, I've been watching Formula One for 50 years or something, you know.
Yeah.
And there's so many of the young, no, why do you watch? If you don't like it, you know what you can do? You can switch it off.
Switch it off, yeah.
Well, then you can't critique it.
No, if you don't watch it, you've got to watch it.
So even though I'm not enjoying some races and I'm ranting with mine, they all put up that for me, shaking my fist at the clouds. The Simpsons dad, you know, that's Tiff Needell, some old man shaking his fists. But you can only shake your fist if you watch it.
If you watch it, you've got to watch it. You've got to watch it. I'm looking forward to it. And I tell you what,
the next Formula E, in a year's time, the next Formula E's do look, they say 800 horsepower four-wheel drive. They do look a better car. But
yeah, they do.
I can't believe they're going to be able to run that can't run that far at 800 horsepower.
Well, we've got to watch it. We've got to watch it.
I should be biting their fingernails. It's all Lando getting around turn one. I'm sorry we're biased about it. People say, why? Oh, Hamilton's... Your fun boy Hamilton's at the back, so now you switch to Lando. I mean, the things they say on Twitter.
I know.
I'm an Englishman. I support the English drivers normally. Oscar's a brilliant driver, so is Max.
We've got to do it.
You've got to support someone.
Guys, I will say as well.
I support Southampton. They're not in the Premiership, but Southampton lost last weekend.
He's off football. I will say this though as well, guys. Apologies for it being on Zoom, but next week I'll be back with Tiff and we'll be back to normal as well.
Celebrating Lando.
Let's go. Come on, Lando. Cheers. Bye.